Good evening and welcome to the Universidad Europea de Madrid. My name is Alan Palmer, Director of Academic Orientation, and it is both an honor and a pleasure to welcome you to this open house event, which aims to shed light upon our bachelor's degrees taught 100% in English within the Faculty of STEAM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics. The bachelor's degrees we will cover this evening are the following: Fundamentals of Architecture and Aerospace and Aircraft Engineering. Please bear in mind that beyond this virtual event, we would be delighted to invite you to our campus in person for you to see up close our classrooms and state-of-the-art installations, like our wind tunnel, Fab Lab, Industry 4.0 laboratory, and our motor and mechanical production laboratory, just to name a few. Overall, we are a private international university whose main campus in Madrid is located 15 kilometers to the southwest of the city center, within the town of Villaviciosa de Odón. Although, please do note that we have another smaller, more boutique-style campus in Alcobendas, located in the north of Madrid. I would say our university is characterized and truly driven by our emphasis of learning by doing. That is, a large portion of our degree's curricula take place outside of the traditional classroom, within our on-campus laboratories, workshops, simulation zones, as well as in real-life professional settings, within the realms of, for example, airport infrastructure, historic building restoration, satellite and aircraft design, mechanical supply chain, automobile manufacturing, robotics, and renewable energy, just to name a few. Studying at the Universidad Europea is not just a place where you will attend classes, participate in internships, research, and obtain your degree, but rather it is a platform for you to spring into the world with a more globalized, digitalized, and entrepreneurial mentality. We also foster a multicultural environment in which 1 in every 3 students are international. So, aside from introducing you to our distinguished professors, explaining the curricula of the aforementioned degrees, providing an overview of campus life and culture, detailing the admissions process, and answering all your questions, I am also aware and cognizant that many of you will be departing your respective home countries and relocating to Spain to embark on this new chapter. As a foreigner myself, that is one thing you and I will share in common. Having resided, studied, and worked in Spain for 7 years, I also look forward to talking about the reality of moving to Spain and forming part of this amazing university community. We thoroughly hope you find this event insightful and beneficial as you research the various options of which university do I choose. In the following short video, the rector of the Universidad Europea de Madrid, Dr. Elena Gazapo, will speak about our academic model.
Hola, mi nombre es Elena Gazapo, soy la rectora de la Universidad Europea de Madrid y quiero darte las gracias por estar con nosotros en nuestra jornada de puertas abiertas. Sabemos que estás en un momento muy importante de tu vida. Estás a punto de comenzar una nueva etapa, un futuro que comienza en la elección de universidad, ya sea para cursar una titulación de grado o un ciclo formativo de grado superior. La Universidad Europea está formada por una red de instituciones presentes en Madrid, Valencia, Canarias, Oporto y Lisboa, que comparten una visión única, la visión One University. Con más de 25 años de trayectoria, 25.000 alumnos y más de 80.000 egresados, proporcionamos a nuestros estudiantes una educación integral, formando líderes y profesionales preparados para dar respuesta a las necesidades de un mundo global, para aportar valor en sus profesiones y contribuir al progreso social siempre desde un espíritu emprendedor y de compromiso ético. Nuestro compromiso con nuestros estudiantes se sustenta en un sólido modelo académico eminentemente práctico, que permite conocer la realidad profesional en un entorno global y multicultural donde más del 30% de los estudiantes son internacionales y con acuerdos de intercambios y prácticas en más de 70 países. En la Universidad Europea de Madrid contamos con una amplia oferta formativa en la gran mayoría de las áreas de conocimiento, con más de 200 grados, ciclos formativos de grado superior, posgrados y programas de la Escuela Universitaria Real Madrid Universidad Europea. Nuestra comunidad docente permanece en constante contacto con las profesiones para garantizar una formación a la vanguardia de las necesidades del mercado laboral, lo que se traduce en más de 6.000 acuerdos de colaboración con empresas y con elevadas tasas de empleabilidad cercanas al 90% y con rangos salariales un 40% por encima de la media de universidades privadas. Este contacto con las profesiones también se pone de manifiesto en nuestra oferta académica, en permanente actualización para responder a las necesidades profesionales en diferentes áreas como educación, ingeniería o comunicación, por nombrar algunas de ellas. Además, en los últimos meses ha quedado de manifiesto la importancia del cuidado de la salud como elemento clave para la sociedad. Por eso apoyamos el concepto One Health, una sola salud, una estrategia global que defiende que la salud humana y la salud animal son interdependientes y están vinculadas a los ecosistemas en los que coexisten. Lo concebimos y lo implementamos a través de una nueva propuesta formativa que incluye biomedicina, veterinaria y medio ambiente y sostenibilidad. En la Universidad Europea queremos acompañarte en tu viaje y lo hacemos a través de nuestro modelo académico de aprendizaje experiencial HighFlex, que tiene un enfoque eminentemente práctico que te permitirá adquirir los conocimientos, las competencias y valores adecuados para el desarrollo de tu futura profesión, así como afrontar los retos de la transformación social y digital. Un viaje de aprendizaje en el que contarás con las mejores instalaciones, equipo docente y tecnología para que aprendas haciendo, enfrentándote desde los primeros años de formación a situaciones simuladas y reales del día a día de las profesiones. Un modelo que te permitirá ganar horas de vuelo gracias a la última tecnología en laboratorios y entornos virtuales, contando siempre con la cercanía y la dedicación constante de tus profesores. ¿Quieres saber cómo es el día a día estudiando en la Universidad Europea? Tendrás a tu disposición un campus seguro, con magníficas instalaciones y laboratorios, como Industria 4.0, que cuenta con las principales tecnologías como Internet de las Cosas, ciberseguridad, sensores o Big Data, entre otros, para garantizar un aprendizaje basado en proyectos con el estado del arte de la cuarta revolución industrial. El Human Performance Research Lab, un espacio de última generación para el aprendizaje transdisciplinar sobre los beneficios y usos del ejercicio físico en la salud y en el rendimiento de las personas. O el hospital simulado, para que puedas practicar con las situaciones que viven los profesionales sanitarios, pero en un entorno seguro. El elevado número de profesores que siguen en ejercicio profesional, cuya enseñanza está directamente relacionada con su experiencia laboral, te garantizan una conexión con el mundo real desde el primer año. Además, contarás con aulas dotadas con la última tecnología y podrás hacer uso de diferentes herramientas digitales como entornos de simulación, gamificación, laboratorios virtuales y contenidos digitales de alto valor añadido. Todo ello accesible también fuera del horario de clase para maximizar tus horas de vuelo. Y todo esto en el entorno de nuestros campus seguros, en los que podrás participar en múltiples actividades y exprimir al máximo la vida universitaria. Toda nuestra comunidad universitaria te está esperando para acompañarte en este viaje donde la educación personalizada, el conocimiento humano y la tecnología más avanzada se dan la mano. Te dejo con los equipos de facultades y escuelas que te van a mostrar tu día a día desde las áreas de conocimiento.
I would now like to hand the reins over to the true protagonists of this event, our professors and heads of departments, who have so kindly dedicated their time and expertise to speak passionately about our degrees offered 100% in English. In the following order, we will hear from the head of our bachelor's degrees in engineering, Dr. Verónica Ejido, as well as the head of our bachelor's degree in fundamentals of architecture, Dr. Juan José Mateos. Before welcoming Dr. Ejido to join me on the stage, please enjoy this short video that paints a picture of our Faculty of STEAM.
Hi, my name is Verónica Ejido, and I'm the Vice Dean of the Undergraduate Engineering Programs at Universidad Europea de Madrid. I would like to inform you about the degree in Aerospace and Aircraft Engineering. So let's start. We are a project-based school. What does it mean? It means that you are going to do a lot of projects during the 4 years. We believe that projects are the best way to prepare engineers for the future. Projects will give you all the skills you require, such as teamwork, problem solving, technical skills, and make it possible to connect different subjects such as fluid mechanics, aeronautical structures, aeroelasticity, as in the real world. How do we do this? With qualified staff, of course, and with excellent facilities, hardware as well as software. For example, SolidWorks, CATIA, ANSYS, Fluent, Nastran Patron are examples of that software, and also with the Fab Lab at your disposal to materialize your ideas, with the possibility of testing them in the wind tunnel. Also, you can use the Physics Lab, Industry 4.0 Lab, Automotive Lab, all of them with the latest equipment. Finally, in your 4th year, you will have to undertake an internship. This gives you the opportunity to work as an engineer in leading companies like the European Space Agency, Iberia, Airbus, European Space Academic Center, and many others. And lastly, you will have a great opportunity to learn without having to take exams. How? By joining one of the many clubs within the university. For example, the Air Division Club, whose students participated with a launch of a Pico satellite into space in January 2022, in conjunction of the Spanish radio associations, and are currently working on rockets and CubeSats. As you can see, a whole range of possibilities. Now, I will like to show you the 4-year curriculum. As you can see, the first year largely entails general engineering subjects such as calculus, algebra, and physics. In the 2nd through the 4th years, you will see subjects related to your specific interests. For example, satellite design, space vehicles, aeronautical structures, etc. Of course, if you have any questions about this degree, I would be happy to answer those in our Q&A session. Thank you very much. Alan?
Thank you very much, Professor. We really appreciate hearing your expertise about our degree in aerospace and aircraft engineering. Now I would like to introduce our next professor to speak, Dr. Juan José Mateos, the head of our bachelor's degree in Fundamentals of Architecture. Dr. Mateos is connecting with us virtually this evening. Dr. Mateos, how are you?
Hi, fine, thanks.
Hi, thank you. Please take it away.
Okay. So we are, if we could go to the next slide. We ran our degree and our master course in architecture, focus on what contemporary architecture should look, okay, and what should be the main resources we should consider in order to produce our architecture. We ran a 5-year course degree plus 1-year master's. With that, next slide, please. With that 6 years complete education, we have access, you as students would have access to both RIBA UK Part 3 equivalent in terms of NAB. Also, you could practice in the States, or start to practice in the States. So our focus has to do a lot with international activity and integration of that international activity into our everyday life, into our school. Next slide, please. Yeah, as I was saying, this focus on international activity has this global background. Also, we have an in-house robotic and 3D fabrication department where we can improve and develop our projects with those tools. In terms of our teaching capabilities, they are very linked with the professional activity. So almost all of our teachers have their own personal and professional background and practice. Could we go to the next slide, please? Yeah, and this is a very good, this is a very good example where our activity is linked with our project-based school methodology. So we don't divide our activity between theory and practice. We base all our learning processes in the development of our projects. And that is very linked with trying not to have like theoretical classes without the activity of the students, but try to engage with workshops and laboratories throughout the whole course in the bachelor and also in the master's. Next, please. Yeah, and as I was saying, this is a very good example of how our activity takes place in a very workshop environment with local and international guests and teachers. Here, for example, we can see some of our activity with other international schools. For example, Barthes School is one of our main partners, and we run with them several workshops throughout the year, and we invite teachers and professionals from UK and keep this close relation. Sorry. Next, please. Yes, this is, for example, one of the activities, one of the workshops we've been working last year with Nagami, also is one of our partners, trying to break the boundaries between our discipline and the latest technology. So there is no limitation in the development of our ideas, on our students' ideas in their projects. Next, please. But that also opens a big chance of experimentation. And yeah, you could roll different slides, please. So this experimentation comes up from a very creative environment, from handmade drawings, 3D printed models, and all those tools are useful for our students to, next, please, for our students to grow and to understand how their design should meet basically the world. Here also, it's a very important issue for us is our lecture series, where we invite national, international teachers. In this case, for example, last year, Giancarlo Mazzanti, award-winning Colombian architect, was one of our main invited teachers, and he shared with us one semester last year. Next, please. You can see a lot of our activity in our Instagram profile, and also try to understand how that creative and technological activity can take place. Because it's quite important for us to understand how that activity is not only linked with architecture as a production of pieces of building, but also, next please, of how cities and environments are linked with our proposal. So next please. So not trying only to understand architecture as an isolated discipline, but try to understand it as a very social and very engaged discipline with our cities and our environment. Next please. We run both, I'm doing this in English, we run both an English course and Spanish course, so both activities takes place at the same time, and that gives us like an interesting advantage of having, next please, international students that run with us the whole cycle of 5+1 year, and also our local students. Next please. Here we can see some examples of these activities I'm explaining. Next, please. And also the tools used in this kind of projects we are seeing here are very linked with what I was saying at the beginning, like try to help our students meet their goals and their interests and using the latest technology in a very international environment. Next, please. Next. Next. Yeah, here you can see like some details of how this course of bachelor's is structured with different years, and throughout this whole structure of different subjects, all this idea of design and try to integrate our design into the different disciplines is very important. So that's why this idea of project-based school. So every one of the subjects is linked somehow. At the beginning, it's not so easy to do that, but when we get to the end, to the masters, this integration process is like very, very heavy, where almost all of the different subjects are part of the same project. Thank you. If you have any questions now or later, don't hesitate to ask. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mateos. We really appreciate your time and your expertise, and thank you again to both of our professors that have spoken with us this evening. You really are what make our university distinguish itself and stand out from the rest, and we really appreciate your time. I would like to briefly mention 4 additional degrees that we are offering in English as of this upcoming year within the Faculty of STEAM. Those are mechanical engineering, computer IT engineering, civil engineering, as well as physics. So students, again, if you have any questions regarding these bachelor's degrees, please hold those for the Q&A session. But prior to that, I would like to touch upon the admissions process. First, I would like to mention that the application window for this upcoming 2023-2024 academic year is currently open, and we do encourage you all to participate. So, the first step will be to establish contact with one of our dedicated enrollment advisors, who will be your main point of contact throughout the admissions process up until you register for classes. We will assign you an advisor that is a true expert in the degree of your choice, who can answer any questions you may have, and also provide you and your family and friends a campus tour of our state-of-the-art, cutting-edge installations. So your advisor will give you access to your pre-student online portal and send you your online admissions tests, which consist of, irrelevant of your degree, a professional skills and abilities test, which will evaluate, for example, how you work in group settings, how you make decisions, your level of empathy, self-motivation, etc. Secondly, as part of your admissions test, you will complete a written interview comprised of 5 questions in which you will need to respond as honestly and detailed as possible. Please go to the next slide. Lastly, all students, regardless of any previous official language certificates they may have, will need to take a Spanish level test and an English level test. These are 50 minutes in duration and contain a grammar, listening, and reading section. Kindly note that if your maternal language is either Spanish or English, you will not need to take that specific test. So, upon completing your online admissions tests, our selection committee will evaluate your results, and within about 48 to 72 hours, they will relay your admission status to your advisor, who will be in touch with you as soon as possible. Upon completing the tests and evaluated by our selection committee, if you are admitted and that Universidad Europea de Madrid is the right fit for you, your next step will be to reserve your place within your pre-student portal. This will guarantee your spot within your bachelor's degree, allow you to proceed forward with the registration process, permit you to apply for scholarships, and of course, provide you that peace of mind knowing you are officially off to university in the fall of 2023. Now, students, please bear in mind there are a limited number of spaces per degree. So again, it is my recommendation to avoid waiting until the last minute. Wonderful. And as I mentioned, I am a foreigner myself, originally from the United States, and I do look forward to talking about the reality of living in Spain But prior to that, I would like to go over our scholarship program. We do offer a competitive scholarship program that does provide financial aid to our students of high academic and athletic performance. Kindly note that within our webpage, you will find numerous scholarships at your disposal. However, I would like to highlight the two that are applicable to our international students. The first is called what we call in Spanish the Beca de Excelencia. This is our Scholarship of Excellence, which is awarded to those students of particularly high academic standing whose annual household income does not exceed 100,000 euros a year. This scholarship will cover 3,000 euros of your tuition annually, and do note that you can apply for this scholarship between March 16th and July 16th of 2023, only if your reservation fee has been paid. You will submit your final high school grades through our scholarship online portal, and do note that any application submitted after July 16th of 2023 will not be considered. Now, the next scholarship at your disposal is called the Plan Compite, or the Plan Compete. And this scholarship is granted to those incoming scholar athletes of particularly high athletic performance. These candidates must accredit their athletic standing within the last year through the Ministry or Federation of Sports within your home country. This scholarship will cover 30% of your tuition annually, excluding the reservation fee and file opening fee. Students can apply for this scholarship starting on April 1st of 2023. You may be wondering, can I apply for both? Yes, you can apply for both scholarships. And if granted both, the student will receive the one that is most financially beneficial. Lastly, although this is not a scholarship, I would like to point out that for all incoming students for our 2023-2024 academic year, we do have an early enrollment discount of 50% in the reservation fee. Now, prior to moving on to our Q&A session, I would like to, as I mentioned, I would like to briefly touch upon the experience of living in Madrid, particularly for those students that will be relocating from another country. As I mentioned, as a US citizen myself, I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee. I've had the fortune of calling Madrid home for approximately 7 years. The first year in Galicia and these past 6 years in Madrid. Madrid is Spain's main cultural and business hub, abundant in world-class museums like the Prado, the Reina Sofia, or the Thyssen, sports venues, awe-inspiring architecture and monuments, parks and green spaces, and houses the headquarters of countless multinational companies, institutions, and hospitals. Madrid is an extremely welcoming city and boasts a street life, vibrancy, hospitality, and overall quality of life comparable to none. Located in the dead center of the nation and the geographic center of the nation, Madrid is also well connected by air and rail to all corners of Spain and other major European cities. So thanks to our high-speed train system, we are about 2.5 hours from Barcelona, Valencia, Sevilla, and Malaga, and about 6 hours driving from Portugal's two major cities of Lisbon and Porto. Not to mention, the day trip excursions from Madrid are quite endless. For those nature enthusiasts, Madrid is just a 45-minute drive from the Sierra de Guadarrama, which is a towering mountain range that bisects the Iberian Peninsula. And for those history buffs like myself, we are an hour's drive away from the medieval towns of Toledo, Segovia, and Avila. As far as weather is concerned, Madrid has a mild, dry, and pleasant climate year-round, although it's quite chilly from December to February and hot, and I mean very hot, in the months of July and August. As far as living situations are concerned, we do offer 2 on-campus dormitories called Velázquez and Picasso that are managed by a company called Xior, that's X-I-O-R. Additionally, there are ample student residences within the town of Villaviciosa de Odón, just a few minutes from campus by bus. However, for those of you wishing to live right in the middle of the hustle and bustle in the heart of downtown Madrid, the campus is also well connected by public transport. For example, the commute from Madrid's Príncipe Pío station to our campus takes approximately 30 minutes. And aside from public transport, our university provides our own transportation with buses departing from Moncloa in the area of Ciudad Universitaria 6 times a day. Now, regarding health insurance, there are various options at your disposal. However, according to their prices, coverage, and overall quality of doctors and healthcare staff, we would recommend Nueva Mutua Sanitaria, whose contact information you will find on the screen. Lastly, regarding your student visa, please note that we will provide you the documentation needed to file for your visa through the Spanish embassy or consulate in your home country, once you have confirmed your place and paid your reservation fee for the upcoming academic year. We hope you enjoy this short video about our university clubs and extracurricular activities prior to opening the floor for questions and answers.
La vida universitaria te está esperando. Sabes que cuentas con más de 25 clubes donde puedes desarrollar todas tus habilidades y además conocer personas con tu misma afición.
¿Te gusta diseñar y construir objetos? Te invito a que te unas a los clubes de Fórmula, Robótica, Informática, Ciencias, Física, Game Studio o Air Division. Además, estos equipos participan en competiciones a nivel nacional e internacional, representando a nuestra universidad.
Tal vez te interesen actividades más culturales, así que puedes apuntarte al club de cine, al de teatro o al de fotografía.
Seguro que tienes el talento necesario.
También tenemos clubes para quienes quieran divertirse con juegos o deporte, como el club de eSport, el entrenamiento, club de rol o ajedrez. Jaque mate.
¿Eres trotamundos? Entonces tus clubes son o Relaciones Internacionales o Modelos de Naciones Unidas, que van a encuentros internacionales y nacionales. De hecho, este año fueron a París y a Dubái para representarnos.
En cambio, si lo tuyo es medicina, odontología, fisioterapia, psicología, biotecnología o ingeniería biomédica, contamos con agrupaciones para titulaciones específicas.
Estás a la última en todo, entonces no puedes perderte clubes como Pride
O podcast.
Y si aún así no encuentras un club que te interese, puedes crear uno nuevo.
We will now open the floor for questions and answers. Within the live chat, you're free to ask us any questions you may have about each degree, the admissions process, our campus, living in Spain, etc. My colleagues, our professors, and myself will answer each in order of reception. As you are aware, some of our professors and colleagues are here with us on campus, while others will answer virtually from home. Now, we are happy to answer any and all questions now. But please note that tomorrow we will get in contact with you over email to send you the electronic brochure of your degree with the tuition fees, and we will assign you your very own dedicated enrollment advisor who will lead you through the admissions process. Thank you so much for joining me here on stage, Dr. Ejido. Dr. Mateos, connecting virtually, please stand by. Here we are checking to see. Perfect. So as we wait for a few questions to roll in, I would like to, I have two questions for you, Dr. Ejido. The first question is, what is the employment rate for students who study aerospace and aircraft engineering here at the Universidad Europea de Madrid? What are their chances of gaining full-time employment within the first year of graduating and obtaining their degree?
Okay, thanks, Alan. Generally, all the engineering programs have great rates of employability, and aerospace is one of them. And usually, it's between 95 or even 100% rate of employability. So it's a really good option for you to choose engineering programs.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And my next question for you is, of course, I recognize that many of the students connected are probably considering various universities, probably in a lot of different countries and continents as well. What would be one outstanding reason as to why the students would want to study at the Universidad Europea de Madrid? What is one reason that really stands us apart from the rest?
Okay, that's a difficult and an easy question. We are best now, not really. But, you know, I think that we have all the things that you have seen. I mean, facilities, teachers, or professors, all of them are just vinculated to your professional development. So you have to think that we have that experiential learning that allows you to be a really good professional in the future, because you're going to do here things that usually are done in the companies. So you are going to be more prepared because you have practiced here things that usually you don't see till you go to a company. So I think that's a really important part of our system, of our academic model, that we can just be proud of.
I could not agree with you more. And I would like to launch the same question to Dr. Mateos. Dr. Mateos, actually, I'll ask you the same two questions. What is the employment rate for students who study the Fundamentals of Architecture degree here at the Universidad Europea de Madrid?
Yeah, it has to do with time. More or less in 18 months, we could be talking about 85–90% of students either finding a job or also start their own venture, because also that's for an architect and other kind of studies is quite an important option. So to create your own office or to have a personal business. So try to do that is also an important issue for our students. And sorry, the second one was?
Yes, and the second question is, of course, the students are probably considering several different universities. What would be one reason that why they should choose to study at the Universidad Europea de Madrid, to study in general and specifically our architecture program?
Yeah, from my point of view, that would be like our international background, and not also background, like an international spirit. So trying always to find connections and opportunities with other schools, other places where our discipline in terms of architecture is dealing with the future of our societies. So for me, that international approach is like a very differential, valuable issue.
Yes, I could not agree with you more. You know, walking through the halls of the Universidad Europea de Madrid kind of gives you the feeling that you're walking through the United Nations. You know, here we have over 100 nationalities represented, students that come from practically all continents, with the exception of Antarctica, of course. And so really having that diverse and multicultural environment is really enriching for our student body. And also, I would also have to agree with both professors that our emphasis of learning by doing, I would say that depending on the degree that you study at the Universidad Europea, between 60 to 70 to even 80% of the class hours of the 4 or 5 year or 6 year curriculum take place outside of the traditional classroom, within our laboratories, workshops, simulation zones. So that emphasis of kind of experiential learning is really, I think, is something else that really sets us apart. So another thing that I wanted to bring up, I know that we went on about Madrid, but of course our campus is not located in the heart of the city. We are removed from the hustle and bustle, and we are here very comfortably here in the town of Villaviciosa de Odón. Just a little bit of background about Villaviciosa de Odón. It is it's a historic town. It was founded in the early 18th century. It has a population of approximately 30,000 inhabitants. I would consider it, as an American, a college town, a university town, in which very student friendly. It's very safe. There are probably about 8 or 9 or 10 student dorms here within the town, and of course, it's very well connected by public transportation as well. So it does appear that we have a few questions. We have a question that has come through on the live chat. And this is from Sophia. Sophia, thank you so much for your question. Sophia has said, my Spanish is not very good, and I was wondering if it would affect my lifestyle in the university. She is interested in the fundamentals of architecture, and she would be relocating from her home country of Nigeria. So I would like to say, Sophia, you have nothing to worry about. There are a lot of students that come here whose first language is not Spanish and arrive to campus, as we do offer one degree offered 100% in French and several degrees offered 100% in English. You are not alone. We have many students here that arrive on campus without speaking a word of Spanish. Unfortunately, we do have private classes. We have private tutors here at the university at your disposal, in which you can set up private classes with them on a weekly or a bi-weekly basis to really hone your Spanish. For many of our degrees that are taught in English, when it comes time to participating in curricular internships, of course, those internships oftentimes take place in Spanish companies, institutions. Of course, this is the Faculty of STEAM, hospitals or law firms. And of course, by that third or fourth year, when they do enter those curricular internships, we do need you to have a B2 level of Spanish in order to collaborate successfully with your colleagues. But of course, you have many years ahead of you. And just by living on this campus and living in Spain, of course, over time, I'm sure that your Spanish will become up to par. So thank you so much for your question, Sophia. Again, before we go into the closing statement, I would like to give you all a final opportunity to send us in any last-minute questions you may have. And again, students, I would like to remind you all that there are a limited number of spaces in each degree. The application window for this upcoming 2023-2024 academic year is currently open, and we do encourage you to participate. It is not too early to fill out your online documentation, take your admissions tests. I do invite you all to come to our campus in person to see our campus up close before, as you make your decision. And let's see here. Perfect. All right. Professor, do you have any last anything last minute to say to the students while they're connecting, while we have their attention?
Okay, I want to tell you that it's a great moment in your life, this moment in which you are going to choose the place in which you are going to be for 4 years, or maybe a little bit more if you do the fundamental architecture and the postgraduate program. And we encourage you to come here and see all the things that we have told you. I mean, it's important for you to come here and see them, because I think it's a very good way to understand why we are happy to working here. And we really think that this is a really good place to be, to work, and to study. So that's the thing I wanted to say.
Thank you so much, Professor. I really appreciate that. And Dr. Mateos, is there any last message you would like to leave with the students while we have their attention before we go into the closing statement of this open house event?
Yeah, I think if you are interested in how architecture can shape our cities and our world and help our societies to evolve into a changing future, I think this is a very interesting opportunity for you to join us, and a very exciting environment to do so. So yeah, that would be.
Thank you so much,
Thanks.
Dr. Mateos. And thank you again, students, for your questions. And thank you to our professors and colleagues for your answers. Students attending this evening, I would like to leave you with one final message. Choosing a bachelor's degree and a university is without doubt one of the most difficult decisions a young person has to make. Therefore, it is my sincere wish and recommendation for you to research not just at Universidad Europea, but a wide range of universities, to take a look at their 4-year curriculum, evaluate the professors and on-campus installations, take into account the internship offerings, and explore the various extracurricular activities at hand. Because those of us that are a bit older than you can agree that your university years from 18 to 22 or 23 years old is perhaps one of the most exciting chapters in a person's life. So if you do envision yourself studying through project-based learning, gaining experience in a professional setting, participating in clubs and sports teams, we have over 25, by the way, and cultivating lifelong friendships with classmates from all around the world, perhaps the Universidad Europea de Madrid is the right fit for you. On behalf of the university, thank you so much for connecting with us this evening. I again want to thank our devoted professors, Drs. Ejido and Dr. Mateos, for sharing their time and expertise with us this evening. Thank you to my team within the admissions department, David, Estefi, and Carolina, as well as to the technicians and the production team for making this event a reality. And of course, a special thank you to all interested students and families for your participation in this open house event regarding our faculty in STEAM. Again, that's science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Classes will start in September of 2023, and we hope to see you all around campus. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Good evening and buenas noches.
Good evening.
Bye.